crimes against persons. Throughout the night, we have continued our investigation into this parental abduction, and it is continuing and it's ongoing at this moment. I want to thank you, the media, for continuing to run this news story and keeping it at the front of the news. Your efforts have led to us receiving tips, but at this time we need more tips to come in from the community and the public to help us solve this crime. At this time, we do not know the whereabouts of Onnika or her mother, and that's what we need to help with. We do know that she has frequented the areas of downtown, as well as the beaches, as well as the area that we were at before, the areas of where the actual abduction took place also. And our main concern right now is the safety and the safe return of Onnika. And if any information could be given from the public to lead us to tips, we'd really appreciate that. Now, through our police information officer, we're actually going to be giving you a picture of the license plate, but also next to it there's going to be like a template, because from the photograph that we have from the license plate, you can't really tell what the tag looks like. But with the information that we're going to be putting out, you'll kind of see what it should look like with the tag number that we put out previously. So, like I said, our main concern is the safe return of Onnika. We do actually have an arrest warrant at this time issued for the suspect in this case for interference with custody. And I'll take any questions that you might have at this time.
Chief, was she the only person in that vehicle, or did she have the mother, or did she have a driver to help her get away?
No, it was just the mother that was the driver. There was nobody else. It was the mother and the 6-year-old girl, Onnika.
Who has legal custody of Onnika right now? Who officially does?
It's actually, it would be the Department of Children and Families of the state of Florida. Back in November, her custody rights were actually taken away from her. And as was explained yesterday, this is basically a supervised visitation where this incident took place at.
The abduction happened around 4:52. We didn't get an Amber Alert until 8:30. Why was there such a delay?
I don't, as far as giving you an exact timeline as the delay, I know there's a process to begin. I can tell you as soon as we got on scene, that was one of the considerations that we started to do. It's a process that has to take place. We actually have to contact the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and speak to a couple members at their department who basically give us the authorization to issue that. So, you know, in my opinion, this went as quick as we possibly could with the situation. There's certain criteria that needs to be met, and one being that the child's life is in danger. I don't have any information at this time to let you know that anything has changed as far as we've gotten any information as well as whether or not her life is actually in danger or not. But the bottom line is you have a mother here who does not have custody of her 6-year-old child, and the child, we don't know where the child is. We're just looking for a safe return.
Was this her first visitation, having lost rights to her child?
I don't have that answer for you.
Have you been getting cooperation from friends, family, people that may know Miss Chatman?
Yes, we have. We continue to get the support of the family. As I mentioned before, she has some family that's out of state, as well as there's another family member that's down in the southern part of our state. So yes, we are still.
Spoken to her father, Onika's father? And what information were you able to glean from him?
I don't have all the details, but he is cooperative with us in our investigation.
You said you got tips. How many tips have you received?
There's been approximately 15 that we've received, but none has basically led to the safe recovery of Onnika.
And is that from neighbors, family, friends? Where is that coming from?
I don't have that answer as far as the details where the tips are coming from.
The car that she was driving, was that have you followed up on that Ohio tag? Is that her car that she's driving with the Ohio tags?
Yes, it is. It is registered to her, and that car is a dark green 2000 Buick Century with an Ohio license plate of FPA 4958.
Can you give the latest detailed description of the girl?
The latest information that we have as far as the description, she's 3'10", 53 pounds. She's light to medium complected. She was last seen wearing blue jeans, a pink jacket with white polka dots on the inside. Nothing has changed since last night. We haven't had any information to lead us believe.
Have you talked to the father at all, and what does he say about his kid?
I don't have the details of that. I can just tell you that we did speak to him and he is cooperative.
Have you had any reports of sightings of these two or of this vehicle from anybody in our area or any other areas around the state?
We have, but those sightings have been pretty much, we followed up on all those tips and haven't resulted in a recovery. So.
There was something
Nothing
said
confirmed.
Something said that she had a mental illness. Can you expand upon that? The mother.
Well, I don't have any documented information to state that she suffers from mental illness. As explained last night, basically we received a couple of incident reports that we have here, in which, as I described last night, was pretty much delusional. She felt that individuals were following her.
Okay.
Do you feel like the child's life may become endangered since she's thinking already that people may be following her and now there are people looking for her? Would that potentially endanger the
I
child?
don't think that would potentially, but you know, as I mentioned before, this is a situation where you have a young girl that's missing. We don't know her whereabouts. The mother does not have legal custody, so we just need we need to get the girl safely returned.
Where are you guys going from here?
From here, we'll continue to follow up any type of leads and tips that we receive. We are going back through and checking, as I mentioned last night, hotels and everything. So we have a lot of tasks to still complete. Some of those I just can't share because of the investigation.
How much more difficult does this investigation become as time wears on?
It's no more difficult than any other investigation that we do here at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Although with this case, we do basically get a lot of resources involved. We've got members of patrol and enforcement. We actually are managing this through our incident command system, so we have a way to manage this. So it's a bigger scale than what we do, but you know, collectively we work together.
I'm confused at how this was a supervised visit, but she was still able to get away with her child. Like, wasn't someone watching?
Yeah, and the way I understood it was that at the conclusion of the supervised visit, the mother is there with her daughter and in the process of saying goodbye, at which time the mother basically grabs the child's hand, puts the child in the car, and drives off.
And nobody stopped her at that point?
No,
to
and
say?
you can understand it. And maybe, I don't know what their policies are and everything like that, but, you know, as far as intervening, I can't answer that for you, so.
Can you speak about manpower? You said there was a lot of resources being used. How many and what other agencies are you working with?
Well, currently, of course, everybody that's working with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, we've placed out, be on the lookout, BOLOs is what we refer to them as, through our patrol and enforcement. We do have dedicated members of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office checking our hotels, checking our parks, checking anywhere that we believe that she may have been or could possibly be. We also have, of course, you know, with the BOLO, we place that out to the surrounding agencies as well. But a big thing for us is the Amber Alert. The Amber Alert was broadcasted. It goes throughout the state of Florida, so it's not only our organization, but you have other jurisdictions within the state that are actually have received that, and we're hoping to get information from that as well.
Being that the license plate is back to Ohio, do you guys have any inkling that she could be taking the child there?
It's a possibility, yes.
Okay. Any further questions?
It seems that since parental, you guys throw a lot of resources in situations like this, and it's almost like you're really intense about it. Is that the case?
We have thrown a lot of resources at it, and I don't mean that using that term loosely by throwing it at, but we did also do that with the Cherished Periwinkle case, where we had a lot of resources involved early on. But with this, absolutely, anytime we have these incidents, as time goes on, we get better at them, and we do have a lot of resources involved at this time.
Are there any plans for further updates, or will those only happen if there's something that changes with the status of this case?
Yeah, if something changes, we'll work with the police information officer who will get you the information, any updates and stuff like that. And at a time, if we have more information, we'll get everybody back together. And
What
share.
charges will the mom face if she's filed, for when she's filed?
Interference with custody.
Okay. Any additional questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Pronunciation of her name, I've heard it two different ways. Is it Annika or Onnika or Onika?
I pronounce it Onnika, Onnika, Maria Fisher.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.